Welcome back to the Real Estate News. Joining us now is one of our favorite guests, Geri Colucci with Equitable Property Management. Hey Geri, it's great to see you today.
Hi, thanks. Glad to be here.
So this is such a timely subject as so many people have purchased real estate to rent this coming year. So you're going to tell us how to get those properties ready to rent. So first of all, how is a rental rate established?
Well, that is one of the most important factors of getting a property rented, is that you have it at the right rate. So we take a look at the house based on the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, garage, and so forth. And then we do market comparables to see what other things are renting in that area. And we establish a range that we present to the owners, and they yay or nay. And then we go ahead and advertise based on that rental rate.
Okay, and now I know a big question for most people that want to rent their property would be, should we allow pets?
Yes, that's a biggie, and a lot of owners of rental properties start out by saying, I love pets, I have pets, but I don't want them in my house. The problem is it cuts down about 50% on your rental inquiries.
Wow.
So we ask owners to negotiate with us, and then we'll discuss what kind of animal, whether it's going to be a cat or a dog, and the size. But I try to encourage owners to say yes to pets.
Okay, that's a good insight. Now, why is the condition of the house so important for showing?
Yeah, you know, first impressions are lasting impressions. And so I tell that to the owners also. We want the house to be in move-in condition when the tenant comes to see it. Because a lot of people can't visualize past what maybe renovations we're doing, or that the house isn't that clean. So we try to encourage the owners to, let's put the blinds on the windows, let's clean the carpets, let's clean the interior, including the appliances. So when a tenant comes in to look at it, they can visualize themselves in the house.
Okay. Now, what about safety issues? Are there any safety issues that need to be adhered to?
There are, and sometimes owners of property will say, well, I don't use my fireplace, it hasn't been used in 5 years, we don't have to have it checked. But the fireplace is one really important safety issue. When we take a house, it's required that the fireplace be cleaned and evaluated before a tenant moves in, because if you provide a fireplace, people have the right to use it. The other thing are smoke detectors. In accordance with Hilton Head, we have to go by the law of how many smoke detectors in whatever size house it is. And then fire extinguishers. We require owners to have fire extinguishers in the house at all times. So if we have a fire, then the tenant knows, they call 911 and then they go grab their fire extinguisher.
Okay. Now, why is it important to talk about the lease before finding a tenant?
Well, it's really from the owner's level of comfort that they understand the variables in the in the lease, what the tenant's responsible for, what the owner's responsible for, with their utilities included in the rent. So we sort of go over the lease with the owner so they understand those variables, because we can only hold the tenant responsible for the content of the lease. We have a lease that we've been using for almost 10 years, and it's worked really well for everyone, but new owners have to understand its content.
Okay, and now, last question before we wrap up. Does the community or the regime company need to be notified before renting your house?
They do, because most of our communities are gated. And so the tenant who's moving in, we usually have to send a copy of the lease to the regime company and let them know who's moving in, how many occupants, how many cars. And it makes it easier for the tenant to incorporate into the community, so they feel like they're a part of the community.
Well, and it just seems like when everything's taken care of up front, things go a lot smoother. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Dot every I and cross every T before there are questions.
Well, that's why you're great at what you do. So thank you so much, Geri, for keeping us informed. And thank you for watching. I'm Jenny Lockhart, and join us next time for your Real Estate News.